All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It's time for a magnificent cooking demonstration. There will be samples, and we've got demonstrations throughout the day, but this is one of my favorites because this guy is local and he's just a part of this community. He's really the heart of the community. Neighbors Cooking, Mitch Battersby, of course, has worked with Palm Springs Pride, but you can see him weekly on Neighbors Cooking on Facebook and YouTube and all over the place. I've had the pleasure of being on his program today. He's going to be doing a fantastic dish with some local dates. So come on in and check it out. Please welcome Mitch to the stage. Come on up, sir.
Hello, Patrick. Patrick was on my show a few weeks ago. We were trying to get you on for a year almost. But his schedule was, he's got a lot of weather to do.
Yeah, well, people asked about the weather today is better than yesterday. So just, that's about as good as we can give you right now. So enjoy.
So Patrick used to do a show on Wednesdays also, his own little show at his house. So we competed with each other. And then finally he gave it up for a few weeks and came on my show.
I couldn't compete with Mitch. My audience kept dwindling.
Oh, that's not true. My audience increased when you were on my show.
I'd go on and say, I'm cooking tonight, and people would go, I'd like to watch, but I'm watching Mitch. So,
well, Patrick, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being with you.
Good to see you.
And seeing you, and thank you for all you do for our community. And Patrick's going to be available for any questions you may have random. I may not be able to answer them all for you, but I will do my best. So, how many of you like barbecue? Everybody. So, it's interesting. 8 out of 10 people's pantries have a barbecue sauce in them. Over 200 million gallons of barbecue sauce are sold every single year. That's a huge amount. Now, I lived in the South and in the Midwest for about half of my life, and I started competing in barbecue competitions, which are very intimidating because everybody thinks their sauce is the best. Mine is. I've won awards, so I'm just saying. But barbecue sauce is basic to its beginnings. You've got vinegar in barbecue sauce, tomato ketchup or tomato paste or tomato sauce goes in it. That's standard. Sugars go in it. And then the spices that you decide to add in are really up to you. So I am a private chef here in town. I specialize mainly in helping LGBTQ seniors who otherwise couldn't stay in their homes. One of my clients is right here, Randy. Randy is 91 years old, or young, yeah. He's a retired veteran, school teacher, and actor. So if you go online and look up John Weiler, you will see all the things he has been in: Little House on the Prairie, Powers of Matthew Star, The Great Gatsby. The list goes on and on and on. So we have our own little celebrity right here in front. So welcome, Randy. Thank you for being here. So I have been smoking. So my show, Neighbors Cooking, you can find on YouTube and Facebook. The show specializes, or my specialty, is cooking recipes in under 30 minutes. The show is live, and all of the recipes are under 700 calories. So I went to school at the Cordon Bleu, and so when I graduated, I was this big, lots of butters, lots of creams. And then when COVID happened, I realized I needed to lose some weight. I couldn't see my clients, so I started with just my cell phone doing little cell videos of me cooking in the kitchen and being able to at least share a meal experience with people. And that has turned into 2 million viewers. I'm very proud of the show. You'll see our camera guy here, Sonny. So we're kind of doing a live show here. It's not live, we're taping it, so this will be actually one of my shows that we do and put up on our channel, so all of you will be part of that experience. So let's start off with the pork. I get a nice big pork shoulder, and I know for a lot of us, that's a lot of meat. It's 10 or 15 pounds or more. And so you have to think about, what am I going to do with all that meat after? So a lot of it can be frozen. I did a show last week when I was practicing for this recipe for today, and I showed people what they can do with this meat when they're done. So this has been on the smoker for 10 hours. So smoking is a much different, I can't do that 30 minutes in my kitchen, but smoking is a much different experience because you have to love the meat and be kind to the meat and miss the meat and do all kinds of stuff through those 10 hours that it is smoking in your backyard. Makes your neighbors hungry, but it's a lot of work and it is commitment if you're going to do it. So we use some hickory smoked pellets, in making this, and we just let it cook and cook. And when it was done, it literally fell apart and off the bones when we brought it out. So I've got this beautiful shredded pork that we've created, and I've got samples over at the booth for you, and we're going to bring some into the tent also so you guys can have them. So let's start with what the sauce is. There's two ways you can do this. You can start by cooking it first, or we can just blend all our ingredients together. So we're going to start off with our ingredients in this. We're going to start off with about a half a cup, and this is my recipe. We're going to start off with a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. So that's where all the tartness is going to come from. We're going to add in about a half a cup of ketchup, and we want the ketchup for the sugars. You could use just tomato sauce. You could use tomato paste with some extra water, but the ketchup is really a great basis for your barbecue sauce. The next thing we're going to throw into this is brown sugar. So again, this is a half a cup of brown sugar. We're just going to put that right in, and we're going to just start blending all of these together. So far, y'all could make this in your kitchen. Living in the South and in the Midwest, if you went into a place like Kansas City, you would find 25 or 30 different brands of barbecue sauce on the actual shelves in the grocery store. And each of those brands has multiple different types, sweet, hot, so lots of different brands. And it's a highly competitive place. When you're smoking, they call it slopping on the barbecue sauce. So they use these big brushes and they slop on the sauce. I'm a little bit more Gentile than that, and I'm very with my pastry brush. So, but they're trying to put a show on with their big wood smokers. And you'll find the smokers that they're using in the Midwest and the South, especially in smokehouses, is a big wood burning smoker. So I use a nice commercial brand I have at my house, but I use pellets, so they're much cleaner in what's happening, and it's just... So we've got the basis of this going. We're now going to add in smoked paprika. Anyone know the difference between smoked paprika and regular paprika? Smoked. So regular paprika, it's a chili pepper. The regular paprika is just that chili pepper that's been dehydrated and ground up. A smoked paprika is the pepper has been smoked, dehydrated, and then ground into a fine paste. So we're going to add about a tablespoon of smoked paprika. I'm adding about a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon and a half or two of onion powder. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard. You could use it with the grains in it, or you could use a smooth Dijon mustard. We're going to add some of Grandma's molasses. Can't have barbecue sauce without molasses. Everyone wave at Sunny. I don't usually have a large audience on the show because it's done in my house. I have a camera, a director, I've got my audio, and then I do bring guests on. My show brings on somebody from the community every week. I bring people on the show that do good things in our community, talk about nonprofits or other volunteers that come in and do great things, but they don't get recognized. So I like to bring those people on my show and talk about what they do and share it while we cook a meal together. So it's a lot of fun. Nobody that comes on the show is necessarily a professional chef. Besides me, I don't need the competition. And all the recipes are mine. I did do a show a few months ago with Jason Stewart. If you know who Jason Stewart is, he's one of our local comics here in town. And he brought his mother. And she was sharing her spaghetti recipe, but wouldn't give me the recipe. She had the secret ingredients in her pocket, and she didn't want anyone to know what they were, so it was a difficult show, to say the least. But she was a lot of fun, and I loved having her on the show. So we've got this going. We're going to add some salt and pepper into it. Quite a bit. Quite a bit of salt. And then comes really what makes this delicious. Already delicious. And spicy. But what we're going to do by adding these dates, so we're going to put our sauce into a blender. And then I've got a couple of cups of Medjool dates. So this is going to add that sweetness, that great opposites attract kind of thing. You've got the sweet and tasty, and you've got the tang of the vinegar. But I like using local farm and farm to table ingredients, especially we can find here in the Coachella Valley. And I get to go to a farm every once in a while. All right. Whoa. Felt like Lucille Ball just then. There we go. So Caitlin is one of the Culinary Institute's students. She is in her 4th year, so she's about to be able to say chef. But in the meantime, she just gets to say, yes, chef. So she's going to go over and get some samples, but what we're going to do, and I probably have some, I got some little plates up here. We can do samples from here too. So we're going to take our smoked pork. We're just going to pour this over the top. If it's too thick, you can add water, but we want a hearty sauce. It's going to stick to the meat.
Okay.
There we go.
Good.
We're going to blend this all together. And like I said, the effort to get to this point was a lot of hours, 8 or 9 hours of the smoker. But then if you take your pork and you put it into like sealer bags, put it in your freezer, it'll last a few weeks. If you just keep it fresh in your fridge but well sealed, it'll do a great job in your fridge, and then you can just decide what you're going to make during the course of the week. I do all of my meal prep, so I'll cook some chicken breast, some pork breasts, or pork loin. I usually don't prep red meat in advance, and then I just put it in my fridge. All right, so I want to get a couple of you to come up here and sample this. So who's willing? Come on, what's your name? Alicia, come on up. Ma'am, what's your name? Cheryl. All right, so I'm going to give you each a little sample. And I want you to turn around to my camera guy and I want you to say how fabulous it is, all right? Even if you have to lie. But you won't have to. You both like pork? All right. This is not a vegetarian meal. All right. So we've got a sample for you. And what's your name again? A name again? Cheryl. Where are you from?
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley. And where are you from? Los Angeles. You came in from LA, so there's a sample for you. So go ahead and turn around. Take a bite. I want oohs and ahs. Jacqueline. Good. So Jacqueline here is going to pass some samples around to all of you. I'd love to have you come and watch our show on Neighbors Cooking. I know this wasn't like a frou-frou big presentation, but this sauce is amazing and you can use it on a lot of things. So Jacqueline's going to pass around some samples for you. And I hope that you'll join us on Neighbors Cooking every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And like, comment, follow us. I would appreciate it. Let's keep doing good for the community. Thank you guys so much.